My name is Matt Wood and I'm one of the sales guys at Digistore. I've included my contact details on the slide here, and I would welcome any questions at any time regarding pricing, quotes, configurations, or anything else. I've also included our Facebook and Twitter account details. Following Digistore is a great way to keep up to date with events, specials, technology developments, and more. All attendee microphones are muted to avoid background noise, so if you have any questions, please type them in the questions window and we'll see if we can answer them during the presentation. They will be logged, so we will make sure we respond to each and every question, even if it is after the event. The webinar is being recorded, so if all goes to plan, we'll send a YouTube link in a follow-up email so you can watch the presentation at your convenience. For those that are not familiar with Digistore, our company is a leading solution supplier across a range of digital production areas. This slide shows some of the areas we address, so talk to us about any requirements you may have. We supply integrated solutions incorporating the world's leading brands and work closely with manufacturers to ensure optimal results. We work with mixed Mac and PC environments across Autodesk, Avid, Apple, Adobe platforms, across an office or across the world. So why Digistore? We have a sales and technical support staff in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. We have created Digistore customer assurance plans, ensuring priority access to the support team via phone and email, unlimited remote support via VPN, regular scheduled health checks, and extended business support hours. We also have classroom-style training, as well as the ability to send trainers on site. I'm now going to hand over to the guys from SnapStream. They are based in the US, so please bear with us while we bring them up.
Perfect. First, I'd like to say thanks to everyone for joining us. My name is Ken Dillard. I'm a broadcast-specific account manager here at SnapStream. I'm joined by Mike Lopez, and Mike I'm going to do a brief introduction to the company. Mike is going to actually get into the real meat of the product with an online demonstration. Our company is based in the United States. We're based in Houston, Texas. Actually, there's only one person that's not based in Houston, and that's me. We make the best TV recording and search tool in the industry, and that's not just us saying that. That's our customers' feedback to us. We count over 500 private and government organizations in our customer lineup. We serve entertainment, government, public service, education, as well as private sector and for TV recording and monitoring needs. And we've partnered with Digistore late in 2013. So this is really the initiative, starting off the initiative with our friends at Digistore in Australia. What is SnapStream? So if you think of a DVR, and you think of the biggest, most powerful, most robust DVR that you've ever could imagine, that's kind of a good way to SnapStream. And then you lay on top a really intuitive, fast, and powerful search engine and some additional tools to make clipping of that recorded content very simple and easy. Then you have SnapStream kind of wrapped up in a ball, and that's we work on Macs, on PCs, and on tablets. Our web interface, our customer interface is all based on a web UI. There's no proprietary software required at the edge. How does SnapStream work? This little drawing, right, easy way to see how we work. We take a signal. In the case of Australia, it would be DVB-T, directly in the air if we like, or we can accept it if you like, into the SnapStream server. The SnapStream server, based on user input for recording information, based on program guide, based on times, based on whatever your criteria is, records that content and then makes that content available for viewing, searching, and repurposing to your clients, whether they're on a laptop, a tablet, or sitting at their desk on a desktop machine. And we also provide a very intuitive and easy tool for sharing that content through what we call cloud sharing, which we'll get into when his time is available. who are the folks that use SnapStream? High school germane content and then integrate it into their classroom work. Television producers, production companies, especially on current events, will use the clips that they then use. Here in the U.S., Jon Stewart, The Daily Show, is a big user of SnapStream to build his show. Public information officers use SnapStream to monitor media for their organizations. It would be, at the police department in, say, Houston, public information officer would record all of the local TV stations so that he's aware and can stay in front of the media whenever his organization is mentioned. Publicists monitor me for their customers and for their clients to do the same thing, to be aware of their, stay in front of that and manage that exposure. Researchers at journalism schools do SnapStream to record content, news, etc., and then reutilize that in their educational processes. Some of our customers, networks and local broadcasters, NBC, ABC, CBS, WC in New York City. They're just a handful of our 500 customers. On the entertainment side, these are some of SnapStream, the Daily Show, the Soup, Colbert Report, XM Satellite Radio product, TMZ, MTV. On the government side, the City of Houston is a customer, the United States Congress, the White House, here in Canada, the state government of, the state House of Commons, Privy Council, and government organs. And they use our product because they don't want to have to mess around with DVRs and watching hours and hours upstream. They know it's going to get recorded. They can type in a simple keyword search, and SnapStream will take it right, as well as can be told, the system can be told to send you automatic email alerts when any search criteria that you're interested in is mentioned in the news or in the content. Corporates. Apple is a customer, the Salvation Army, Procter & Gamble, the large is a customer way, Goldman Sachs. All of these people are customers that use to monitor in the media and to stay in front of different media activities. On the educational, in higher education, the university level, all the way down to elementary level folks, first, third graders, all the way through high school and well into university. University of Missouri, University of Cincinnati, Motown, Forsyth County School, Emerson College. These are just a handful of customers that use SnapStream for a variety of purposes within their organizations. Now I'm going to hand it over to Mike. Mike will do a hands-on, start to finish, soup to nuts demonstration of the product. And so let me just click here, and there you go, Mike. There we go. Mike?
All right, great. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ken. Thank y'all again from SnapStream and Digistore for hosting this webinar. So like Ken mentioned, basically what I'm going to be showcasing is the actual SnapStream solution itself. So with SnapStream, as you can see here, this is just an intro panel into our system. We work within a web-based interface. We can work within any web client interface. Here I'm using Google Chrome, but we work well with Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, and on the Mac platform through Safari. So up at the very top, you can see there's some navigational links that will take us to various pages within SnapStream itself. Where I'm going to start is the admin page and talk a little bit about the bare bones of SnapStream. So, like Ken was saying, SnapStream is pretty much a very large DVR, and what that means is our solution gives customers the ability to record between 1 and 10 channels on a given system. We also give customers the ability to build out large clustered systems, similar to what we use here in our office. You can see here that I have, on my SnapStream, I have 20 independent channels where I can record content across a wide variety of channels. So you can build out, like I said, a solution that allows you to record one channel, or a solution similar to some of our customers in the entertainment industry that will record upwards of 40 and 50 channels at a given time. Now, to set up actual recordings, since right now our program guide isn't available in Australia, the way that we would actually set up recordings for our Australian clients is by creating manual-based recordings. And you can see here you have a recording manager link that'll take you right to that page that you need to in order to create your recording. So the easiest way that a user would create a recording is simply just by selecting Create Manual Recording. And here we could say, we can just say Australian News. I can record this on a large frequency of either once, a weekly recording, a weekday, or even say this is going to be a daily recording. So for demonstrative purposes, we'll just go ahead and select this as once. And then from now, I'm going to actually select my date and time. Here in the US, it's currently 6 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and move this to 7 p.m. And we're going to leave it as an hour-long broadcast. So here also with SnapStream, we give you the ability to either start at the scheduled time, or a lot of shows, especially if you're watching, say, a sporting event, an award show, newscast, excuse me, can typically go over the actual scheduled time. So I can even put a buffer in and start the recording early, as well as make sure that I don't miss any of the content and say, you know what, this could run over. Let me go ahead and stop the recording 10 minutes after my designated time. From there, I'll simply select the channel that I have, and once you actually purchase SnapStream, our support and Digistore will work with you to build that channel lineup. Since it's going to be a custom lineup, we'll definitely give you a lot of hands-on tutelage on how to build those lineups effectively so you get the right channels that are available in your package. So here we just select the channel. We'll say we're going to select our local CBS affiliate here in the US. And then down here we could also say, where do I want to record this to? With SnapStream, we give you the ability to record on different folders. So for organizations such as government, you could have multiple PIOs that could create their own folders where they can automatically dump recorded content into those specific folders based on that PIO's workload. Entertainment industry, this is really great for different writers. So if you're working on a comedy sketch or something like that, each writer can have their own independent folder, and they can label those by genre of what they're wanting to add to that folder and move those recordings directly to that folder so they can easily find them at a moment's notice. I can also affect the max number of shows and max number of days just by simply using the drop-down menu here. So once we've actually created all of our manual recordings, we can come up here to our library link. So library is where all of our recorded broadcast as well as active recordings are going to be stored. Active recordings are indicated by the red recording dot. So any show that currently has a red dot is one that's actively being recorded by our SnapStream system here in the office. So even though one of these programs is being recorded, I still have the ability to manipulate or actually view that broadcast as it's currently happening. So you can see here, I could easily click play, And let's find a high definition broadcast for us. So if I wanted to see what was going on with a college basketball tournament here in the US, I could easily select play, and automatically SnapStream is going to launch into our web player.
There's no question like that game. I had to.
So one of the things I do want to preface is, thanks to this being hosted on GoToWebinar, there could be some video lag. Once you actually see SnapStream in person, there is no video lag. So as it's being broadcast, just like you're watching on a television, you'll actually see a very fluid, smooth picture. So you can see here I've paused the video, but this is our basic web player. So our web player is designed to give customers the ability to not only take a look at the actual video that they're looking for, but also follow along with the actual closed caption text. So part of our technology is being able to capture all of the closed caption content from a recording and then making that searchable, as we'll get into in the search piece in a few moments. So down here at the bottom, we have basic playback functionality buttons. We have a play and a pause button. We have some customizable skip buttons, so some organizations may find it convenient to shift or skip through a broadcast. So you can actually build these out to skip back and skip forward at small intervals or large intervals, whatever works on for your workflow. We also have your conventional rewind and fast forward. And then we have a skip to start and a skip to end. And then last but not least, we have our full screen button, which would automatically launch SnapStream into a full screen mode, so you can view that just like you would regular video content. And then our volume controls. Over to the right, you'll notice that there's some information about the actual show itself. You can see here we've got a couple of tabs. Here's under the About tab, you can see the channel it's being recorded on, a little description of what it is, and we have a couple of different options. I can look for some more information where it gives me a lot of the metadata for that actual broadcast.
I had them earlier this season game that I did college basketball.
We also have an Actions tab. So from here in the Actions tab, I can actually stop this recording or extend the recording. I can do what's called a show squeeze or an actual transcode, and we'll go over that in a little while. But also, we have the add to playlist ability. So I could easily say, hey, let's add this to playlist. I'm going to create a new one, and we're just going to call this NCAA basketball. So easily, I can just add content to a playlist, and then later on, once I've added all the shows or recordings to that playlist, I can easily play those back at any time. And then, of course, we also have just released tagging. So tagging essentially is, I could say basketball, I could say Green Bay, we can use NCAA, and basically what I'm doing is I'm adding different tags that will be searchable within SnapStream. So, and I'll show you how to find those tags once we actually get to the search section. So moving on down to the actual transcript piece, you can see here the transcript for the broadcast is scrolling along with the actual recording.
I think 8 players on the team.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the video play back, and I'm just going to let it run. And what you'll be able to see here is we have an auto scroll feature. So as the recording is playing back, you can see the actual closed caption content scrolling along down here on the bottom. Hopefully that you can see it. We use a blue highlight color to highlight the text as it's going across. But also, by doing an auto-scrolling transcript, it makes it very easy for me to automatically just jump into specific positions of the actual broadcast. For instance, I can scroll all the way down and jump right here to this position, and automatically the video is going to follow along with what I want to do. Now, within this actual web player, we can actually size the window to meet the demands of the independent user. So what that means is I can move this video and give it a very minimal video playback space and focus more on the actual transcript that's happening at the very bottom. What that also saying is it works in reverse, where again we can move this all the way over, and users that are more focused on the actual video content can instantly focus exactly on the video and less about the actual transcript itself. So now that we've seen the web player work, let's talk about the true heart of SnapStream, and that's our search engine. So we built this incredible search engine to be something similar to, say, using a Google search. We wanted to make it very easy for each and every customer to automatically be able to find mentions of any specific topic that they searched. So, for example, if I was to type the word Australia, you can see instantly I have 639 different results where Australia or Australian was mentioned. Within our software, we actually brought on a PhD developer that specializes in linguistics. So what he did for our software was add in the ability to do prefix and suffix matching, as well as synonyms and pronouns. So basically, whenever we create a search, now it's going to find past tense or pretense verbiage of that actual context. So you can see here by searching Australia, it's showing me Australian. Here's Australia, and all of our search terms are italicized and bolded. So 639 results is a lot to be able to sift through. So what we wanted to do is, in order to make this a very easy tool, we added search filters. So real quick, I'll clear this, and you can see automatically they auto-populate. Each one of these are specific search filters that a user could use to find certain content. So, for example, I could search by an actor. I can search before a specific date. I can search by category. So, for example, if I wanted to search for comedy, I could search by comedy. If I wanted to search for news, I could do that very easily by using category. Also, searching by tag. So, again, we said, hey, I created that basketball tag. If I select tag basketball, automatically it should populate that recording. And since it's currently being recorded and it hasn't been recording, it's not going to actually populate that video yet. So moving back to Australia, let's say, again, that 639 recording results is a little bit too much to actually sift through. So I'm more concerned with, let's say, some Olympic coverage. So if I said Australia and use the word and search for Olympics, you can see instantly I've drilled down from 639 results all the way to 3. So you can see here it's talking about on a broadcast here in the U.S. on Extra. It's an entertainment broadcast where they were talking about Olympics and Australia. Or what we're looking for is the Olympics coverage, ski jumping, skeleton, where Australia medaled. So we'll go ahead and click on this. And automatically you can see the broadcast starts. So now that I've found the actual mention that I'm looking for using our search tool, I want to be able to actually clip that out. So over here to the right, one of the toolbars that we didn't touch on yet, this is our clipping toolbar. So you can see here I have the ability to drop clip start points and end points, and then using the scissors tool I can immediately clip out this broadcast. We also give our clients the ability to jump to a specific position in a video. So you can see here, if this was recorded at 11:46 a.m., if I wanted to jump to 11:46 and say 36 seconds, automatically it's going to jump to the end of that actual video. So to create a clip, it's very simple. Like I said, we just drop a start point here, and automatically as the video currently runs, we can just drop our clip in point at the end of it. And you can see here, SnapStream automatically tells me I'm going to create a 7-second clip from this, or 7/10 of a second clip from this actual video. So in order to pull that clip, what I can do now is click on our scissors tool, and you can see here we bring up a window that's going to allow me to say, hey, I'm taking a clip from here to here. I'm going to store this by default in my clips folder, but also there's the ability to run specific processes. Within SnapStream, we give you a few different options on what you can do once you've actually created a clip, where a user could share a clip through our cloud service. So we actually have an Amazon cloud server, and once a user creates a clip, if you wanted to share that with everybody in your organization, or even individuals outside your organization, you could click on the Share Clip button, then click Next, and automatically I can type in email addresses that I want to send this to. So I can say I'm going to send this to myself. Here's the Olympics clip, and automatically click Clip. Now also, kind of talking a little bit more, let's jump back in and create another clip here. Another process that we give users the ability to do is we've now integrated a direct upload to YouTube. So for example, if I said upload this clip and click Next, I can create a title, a description, I could even create custom tags, and then down here I can select what type of category it is. So since this is Olympics, I could say it's a sports. I can even indicate if I want to broadcast this publicly, privately, or unlisted. We'll select private, and then automatically I can take the clip that I just created and push that directly to our YouTube page or your YouTube page. So what you're seeing down here is just a notification window that SnapStream is going to let you know exactly what's going on at every given second. So right now it's taking that clip that I created and uploading that to the cloud in efforts to share that with myself. Now once I actually get a clip share, I can open it on any device. We can open it on laptops, I can open it at a desktop, I can also view that on a mobile device. So you heard Ken talk a little bit briefly about using tablets and mobile devices. As long as it hits the internet and receives email, SnapStream will allow you to view the video through that email and through that cloud share. So moving back to search, also with our search engine, being able to find specific content is very easy. But when you find the content you're looking for, usually organizations would want to know exactly when that content airs, so they could be more proactive instead of reactive against specific stories or specific content. So, for example, since we're based in the U.S. and some of the U.S. content we have here, we could say, let's find Obama, and you can imagine here in the U.S., Obama is going to generate quite a bit of results. So now what I could also do is, using our search filters, we could say Obama and look for Obama on a specific channel. So I could say, hey, let's look for Obama on a specific channel, and I would look for him on our local NBC affiliate. So if I do that, you can see our results go from 10,000 down to 1,300. Well, that's still a lot of results to be notified about. So let's drill that search even further and select a category. And just to keep it fun, we're going to select comedy. So I've taken down that 10,000 results all the way down to 200. And if I want, I can even go down even further. So for entertainment customers, let's say that I'm working on a comedy sketch where I want to find specific clips about some government officials. You can see here, Late Night with Seth Meyers. I can easily read along and find out, okay, here's some stuff that's going on regarding the Russian conflict right now. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, you can see Obama was mentioned there. So, for instance, let's see, this looks like something I would be interested in. Let me view this transcript. So since we're capturing all the actual closed caption data, I can click on View Transcript and instantly follow along with what's being said. So you can see up here at the very top, there's some familiar icons from the actual web player. With SnapStream, we've just now recently implemented the ability to actually clip from the transcript. You can also even edit the transcript. So with closed caption, I'm sure it's the same over there. There is common grammatical errors. So for example, if I wanted to edit a piece of this transcript, I can click on Edit Transcript and select where I wanted to and say, hey, you know what? There shouldn't be a comma here. I could easily remove the comma so that way my closed caption text is more along the lines of what I exactly need. So it makes it easier, especially when you're looking for specific names. Closed captioners can typically misspell a name, so if you notice that it's misspelled, you could easily go in and edit that text, so that way it makes your search even easier. So coming back to the actual view transcript, so we can look at how to actually clip from the transcript. Let's say here's the piece that we want to clip from. So this is kind of a good point. We can actually select this word here, and I come up here and say, I'm going to clip start from here. Now what I can do now is just by bringing my cursor over to the end of the actual segment, I can click here, drop my clip endpoint, and you can automatically see that now we highlight the actual text where we're going to take, and if I click clip here, it brings up that familiar clip window that we just saw. So now I can easily share this clip. Again, we'll share it to myself. And I'll just say this is a funny clip from Late Night. I click clip, and instantly, right from the transcript, I've clipped out a piece of valuable information that relates to my workflow. Excuse me. So now that we've found what we were looking for, let's say this is a search string that I would definitely want to focus on, and basically be alerted to anytime this topic comes up. So back on our search page, you can see here we have a Create Alert button, and if I click that button, it takes us into our alert creation page. So alerts are pretty similar to Google Alerts, where I can select certain context and create search terms or search libraries where SnapStream will automatically send me an email anytime any of these search terms are mentioned. So you can see here I've selected a closed captioning search. We're going to call this a sample. And I can easily send this to myself or any number of email addresses. So I can send this to everybody in the company. I can send it to distribution list. So we can say, let's send this to sales@snapstream.com. And then also adjust the frequency. Since I'm going to want to make sure that I see all the new content that happens every single day, we'll leave this as a daily alert. And then for me, I want to know from the night before, so I'm going to say let's leave it at 9 a.m. Now, if I click Save, automatically that search term is going to be saved, and now I have an alert. So once I come into our alerts tab here, you can see I've already created some sample alerts. These are all the alerts that we have running on the system. So here's that sample alert for a search term of Obama on a specific channel in the genre of comedy. For public information and government offices, you can do breaking news alerts. So here's one that I created earlier. This is just a sample breaking news alert. With us being based in Houston, I look at breaking news on channel 612 and the Houston Police, and you can see breaking news generates 55 results. And by selecting the frequency in near real time, basically now I'm telling SnapStream that anytime that you see on a recording on channel 612 and you detect the terms breaking news and Houston Police, send me an email and notify me of what's being said. So to kind of give you a little bit of a demonstration of what the alert looks like, I'm pulling up my email here so you can kind of see. I created a little bit earlier. So, for example, here is an alert that I created earlier. This is a good alert for entertainment workflow. TMZ, I'm sure, is popular internationally. You can see here a TMZ alert with the category of comedy. When you actually look through these alerts, you'll notice, and hopefully you can see that, these are actually hyperlinks. So being that I'm on the same network as my SnapStream, if I wanted to, I could easily click on one of these links and instantly open up another tab where SnapStream is going to pull up that video based on that alert. Also within the alert, since I'm on the same network, I can view the transcript. I can even download the transcript. So if I wanted the transcript from this broadcast, I can download it directly to my workstation, and then it downloads as a text file where I can save this transcript or search for features within the actual transcript. So if I wanted to search for how many times a word came up, I can use conventional search filters, Control F, excuse me, and find specific search terms. So bringing up this video, it also kind of keys me in on something that I wanted to touch on as well. So with SnapStream, we also give users the ability to cut commercials out. This is a really good benefit for PR firms, ad agencies that are really focused on ad space and when ads air. Our commercial detection technology will automatically filter out when commercials air. And if the commercial is actually closed captioned, I'll show you how to actually search for a commercial as well. So down here, you'll probably see a couple of different dark shaded spaces. Excuse me. These spaces are actually areas where a commercial aired within the actual broadcast. So if I was to hit the up arrow on my keyboard, you can see automatically it jumps to that shaded space where the commercial was aired, and now we're watching a commercial. If I hit the up arrow again, I get back to the actual broadcast. Again, we jump to the next commercial, and so forth. So again, for ad agencies, this is a really great tool where they can create these manual recordings, focus in and say they have a client that is primarily concerned with making sure that they paid for ad space at a specific time. They can record a broadcast, make sure that their ad aired, and make sure that the ad aired in its entirety. Now, for some of those ad agencies, as I mentioned, for them to be able to actually search for their ad, that ad actually has to be closed captioned. So, for example, Ford Motor Company here in the U.S. Is a typical company that actually will place captions on their ads, and it makes it searchable within SnapStream. So I can say Ford, and using the search term is, and then just type the word ad, click search recordings, And you can see here instantly, here's my search term, Ford Mustang, Ford F-150, Ford Escape. So if I click on this show here, you'll see instantly we're going into a commercial. Or this is actually, I'm sorry, this isn't a commercial. This was more or less the news broadcast talking. So now it's actually the commercial. So it's a really great feature for those ad agencies and large corporations that are really wanting to focus in on specific marketing campaigns and when they appear on a broadcast. So now that we've kind of showed the web player, we've showed searches, how to create searches, how to navigate through the transcript and create clips via the transcript, I want to talk about some of the automated processes that SnapStream can do for each individual user. So we're going to come back into our admin page and talk a little bit more about this workflows process. So workflows are basically just going to be automatic prompts that you program into SnapStream and say, I want you to perform this function based on a key specific filter. So, for example, our commercial detection, which is called Smart Chapter, excuse me, if we click on the one that I've created, you can see I want a Smart Chapter NBC. I have a select trigger condition that I can do. For this example, it's going to be recording finished. We also give you the ability to isolate this to specific groups. So if this was a workflow that you wanted to run manually, each one of these can be selected based on the specific group. So, for example, if we're going to run this manually, I can say only when run manually and isolate this as only administrators have the ability to run the Smart Chapter on NBC. So here you can see the filtered recordings. Over here we have our column of filters where I can select from. You see right now we have shows are on channel 612, or in this case KPRC. We can even do clips. So I can say shows that are clips. I automatically want a Smart Chapter. For example, if I was not happy with this selection, it's very easy. They're drag and drop. I drop it into our trash can and it goes away. Then there's different actions that we can select for it to perform. So I can say Smart Chapter, but let's say I want to transcode this video file from the native MPEG-2 transport stream that it records in to a more manageable MPEG-4 recording. So I can automatically say Smart Chapter, then transcode this file to an H.264, and after you do that, place this in a specific folder, so that way I know that I have that. So we'll just say for this example, we'll leave as default. And then you can even select specific profiles. And these profiles are some of the standard ones that we put in. I can default 1920 by 1080. I can even drill it down to where it focuses just solely on iPads, iPods, things like that. Or we can very minimalize the amount of space that it would take up by using the fair or the good profiles. So once I create my my workflow, I simply click Save, and it would take us back to our workflows. So, for example, let's just add a workflow and show you some of the other things that it can do. So we're going to do a export and delete, and this is a common workflow that many organizations use. Organizations over here in the States that use it, such as the Democratic National Committee, like Ken pointed out, The Daily Show and so forth. What they'll do is they'll select shows or recordings. So basically using the trigger condition, days after recording finished, I can say 30 days after all recordings are finished, I want all HD broadcast shows that are HD to automatically transcode those down to H.264 using the better profile. Then I want it to export that to a specific export destination. We'll just say sales export. And then the original file, I want SnapStream to delete it. So now, using our workflow, I've created any show that's HD. After 30 days, SnapStream is automatically going to take that, transcode it down to an H.264, an MPEG-4 profile, then move that into a specific export folder. If you have a NAS or a SAN, this could be your UNC path, and then delete that item. So you can see here, there's tons of features where you can build these workflows to give yourself the ability to let SnapStream really do all of the heavy lifting, so to say, of your media monitoring workflow, and basically spend more time focusing on the content as it comes to you instead of having to manually run all of these processes on your own. So with that said, that kind of brings us to the conclusion of the actual product demo itself. So now what I want to do is I'm going to pass this back over to Mark and Matt from Digistore so they can open it up for any questions.
Excellent. Look, we have got one question that's come through. Can SnapStream be set up with the Ice Tv Epg subscriptions? Do you guys know the answer to that one off the top of your head?
That's a great question. I don't have an answer off the top of my head, but if you can definitely send me that question, I will run it by our Director of Engineering just to get the correct answer for that.
Excellent. So we'll take that one offline and get back to the person that answered that question. That was it in terms of questions. So I'd like to thank the guys from SnapStream very much for taking the time this evening. Their time to show us the product in more detail. To those that have registered, well, who are on the webinar, we will be getting in contact and getting back to you with those questions and a YouTube link. So yeah, once again, thank you very much, everyone who attended, and to the SnapStream guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, bye.